What up? What up? What up? Welcome back to the Mantuary podcast, Man Cave Mondays. Hopefully, y'all are having a good time, having a good day. My name is Marine X. Man Cave Mondays is where we kind of like to just kind of shoot the shit, have a good old time, and also at the same time film Man Cave Mondays. It kind of just all works out together, and I like it like that, man. It's been an interesting day. Interesting day. Two for two when it comes to live streaming. Today was a beast of a live stream, man. We got some stuff to talk about, man. I don't know if you had a chance to check out the live stream from earlier, but you should put it on your listening. We might even drop that as a special. We might have to drop that as a special podcast episode and all that good stuff. But listen, super glad that we are now in the middle of May. The weather is increasingly improving here in the man cave. It's 77 degrees. It's feeling pretty decent outside. Let me know where you're at, what the temperature is, what you're carrying in your pocket today, and all of that good stuff. So first off, before we do anything, let's do a deep dive from what I'm actually drinking and smoking today. Today, we will be going with a little bit of coffee and stick action. Okay. I was drinking last weekend with the wife. Told myself, let's just chill out, just have a smooth one. So today we're going to be working on that dad bod, pun intended. Okay. This is a easy drinking coffee from a company out of Austin. That's where they actually roast and wash the beans themselves. They get the actual beans. It's an Ethiopian Nicaraguan combination. I think it works well together pretty nicely. It's a medium roast. I get chewy. I get chocolate. I love to have it as an espresso. I also enjoy to have a really nice pour over or a AeroPress or whatever I decide to do with it. We're gonna couple that with a Herrera Estella by Drew Estates. This is an easy smoker. I normally buy these in bundles, either 10 or 20 or whatever I'm picking up for that day. Has a great draw to it. It has a toast flavor, spice, sweet. Very easy smoker. If you're trying to get into it, you're trying to figure out more about cigars and stuff like that, and you don't want to necessarily, you feel like you're in the middle and you're trying to improve everything that you do, I can easily recommend this stick. This is one of those smokers that I just buy and kind of enjoy and have a good old time. So those are the combinations for the smoke and the stick for today. The actual drink, having some coffee later on. I just want to kind of keep the energy going, man. Had a marathon of a stream earlier. Montana Knife Company, Blackfoot. Now, why am I rocking that? After that story today, it just made me feel so much better about pulling this out the pocket, actually giving it some love and all that good stuff. So I was like, hey, let's just rock this in the pocket. You got this freaking Magna Cup blade steel. It's USA made, full tank goodness. This is actually kind of an easy carry in the pocket. More than I would imagine. G10 scales, it's really great if you got blood on your hands, if your hands are cold or something like that. Titanium scales are nice and fine and dandy, but it's just something about having a nice G10 knife in your hand whenever the weather is kind of against you. That really, really works out well. I'm a big fan of that. Also in the pocket today, we were rocking the Olight i3T EOS. Listen, I've been real big lately when it comes to Phoenix and Nightcore and just some of those powerhouses. I want to just see Olight. Let's give you another chance. I know y'all are probably about to release some more flashlights soon. And so let's just put something in the pocket. Let's just see if I can enjoy something small in the pocket. Runs off a AAA battery, worked just well in the man cave, around the house, finding some little things that I'm looking for and all that good stuff as well. Okay. Now, the Axwell wallet is still in the pocket. The Axwell wallet, I poo-pooed on this wallet in October 2022 when it first dropped. It's been over a year since it dropped. This thing has done nothing but grown on me. It's done nothing but grown on me for ease of use. The fact that you can customize it by simply changing these plates out, just like boom, you can go on their website, buy different plates. If you're tired of that, get something else on there. It's very satisfying. It's have it in this copper color starting to patina. And so it's a very, very easy carry. And then we are rocking the VAR A12 Dirty Dozen. That's what it's like on the wrist, 36 millimeter watch. And let me get that in your face because this thing is so freaking nice. I love my A12 Dirty Dozen. It reminds me of World War II. You can see that, I think it's the Stella cut. I can't remember the movement. Don't quote me on that, but you can see the actual automatic movement through the back of the case. So it's like, ooh, that thing is nice. So that's a fantastic kind of just load out of everything that I got going on, man. The watch, the wallet. Now, I didn't carry a multi-tool today. I had that entire pouch set just in case you saw the my pouch video recently. That set stays still, right? It stays next to my keys. I didn't show you my keys today either. If I go somewhere, I grab that entire pouch, boom, I'm out the door. And it kind of makes sense. If I need the multi-tool, I open the pouch, I use it. But it's normally not on my body. That's why I like having a pouch. It kind of makes life that much easier. Today in history. Today being May 13th, 2024. Today in history in, let's say, 1981. Pope John Paul II. Is he still with us, or has he passed? I know Pope John Paul renounced the popeship. Was like the first time ever that a pope quit, which I think makes sense. Retire, enjoy your last days. So I think he retired and went to South America or something like that. I don't know. I'm not Catholic, but I know the people respect the Pope. Put some respect on his name. Today, May 13th, 1981, Pope John Paul II was shot and seriously wounded in St. Peter's Square, Russia by a Turkish assassin. I don't listen. It just trips me out when people go about doing that type of stuff. Assassination attempts on somebody that you think is notable. It's kind of over the top. I wasn't alive to know about it, but I've studied it in history. Let me know if you were alive in 1981 and if you remember that specific event. Also, let me know if you were alive in 1846. May 13th, 1846, Declaration of War was authorized by Congress. Guess what we did? We took up arms against Mexico. This was recently after 1845. We had just did the annexation of Tejas. The annexation of Texas, where I am right now, happened in 1845. Mexico and the U.S. were at each other's throats. Overwhelmingly in Congress, we authorized for us to go down there and cream the Mexicans and put them in their place. So that started off the war between Mexico and the U.S. So some things in history, the declarations that came down and all of that good stuff. It's so interesting, man. What's not interesting is Grail EDC Not for me. Grail EDC Not for me. Sometimes it's a, not most of the time it's a knife. It could be a bag. It could be something that's upcoming. And Best Tech has been upcoming and announcing all sorts of knives lately. Some of them have been some hitters. Some of them I just don't know if I'm a big fan of. Okay. This is the Best Tech Raison. It is a 3.87-inch Magna Cut blade with titanium scales. What? I mean, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. It's a sexy looking knife. Okay. It has the titanium scales on it, a titanium pocket clip. It's a frame lock. The blade shape to me is actually, it's unique. I love the positioning of the thumb stud. It's kind of like a sideways. It says Magna Cut on there. I think it looks real sexy in the Magna Cut cursive. But you know what I don't like about this is the scales, the handle. I don't know how ergonomic that's going to be. I need to see some reviews. You see how aggressive the pocket clip is with that? I feel like the pocket clip might actually kind of get in the way when you're using this knife. What are you guys thinking about this? The specs on it are unique. The blade is incredibly much larger than the actual scales themselves. That's something that you might be interested in. I don't know if I like the frame lock. I kind of wish I had like a little bolster lock. I don't know. It just something about it's not really getting grandpa excited. It does have an HRC of 60 to 62 according to the website. I want to see what the testing looks like. And the MSRP is going to be $310, which is too goddamn high. Now they've already got it on sale. It's not even out yet. It's on pre-order. Well, it's not, you can't even order it. It's coming soon for $263, but they intend to sell it for $310. Now at $263 in the competitive range where they are, it's actually a fair price. I'm not paying for it. It doesn't look like it's for me. It's a hard pass. Is that an S for a smash or a P for a pass? Put an S for a smash or a P for a pass in the chat. Let me know which one this would work out for you for. But this is Grail EDC Not for me. Another thing that is interesting is everything that is going on with Benchmade versus Montana Knife Company. I talked about this earlier for over 2 hours. If you go to Google and Google Benchmade sues Montana Knife Company, my video is the first one that pops up because no articles have been written on this yet. It was literally a small clip in Montana Knife Company's podcast. Shout out to someone that commented on one of my videos and say, X, are you going to cover Benchmade suing Montana Knife Company? I was like, Raggy? What are you talking about? And lo and behold, I went to the Montana Knife Company YouTube channel. If you go to an hour and 19 minutes into that YouTube video, he's interviewing Donald Trump Jr. And in an hour and 19 minutes, he says, I'm kind of going through the same thing. Benchmade is suing us. And he basically said, bring it on. And I dug deep from there. I had to get my hands on the court case. I needed to see what it was all about. And it is an interesting case nonetheless. I think that there's a lot going on with it. You know, they filed this lawsuit in mid-March. They've already dismissed it themselves, they being Benchmade. If you want a full recap of everything that I said, you got some time on your hands. I linked in the description of this video, that video. You can go check that video out and get the full description. But a summation of it, just to quickly summarize it, because, you know, you may not actually go watch that shit, is Benchmade sued Montana Knife Company when they got word that one of their employees, I'm assuming he must be a higher up employee. They sued when one of their employees tendered his resignation and was about to go work for Montana Knife Company. They didn't interview the employee before they sued it. They didn't reach out to Montana Knife Company. They just served them. It blindsided Montana Knife Company, according to Montana Knife Company. I don't know. We have to wait till this is fully litigated. And we need to see Benchmade's response. But how it's looking right now, this is all motion practice as we stand right now. It's looking, just off the motion practice, it's looking, I'm disappointed in Benchmade. This is all motion practice. I don't know where it's going to go in the final end, but the fact that they filed this lawsuit, it seems like they didn't send a cease and desist letter. It seems like they didn't do anything to get injunctive relief. It just seems like they just went for it. And so I don't know why they took it this route. They've opened up this whole can of worms that I don't know if necessarily was needed, because up until this point, the biggest debate when it came to Benchmade and Montana Knife Company was which one is better suited for a hunting knife. Should I get a Blackfoot X or should I get a Benchmade Steep? Now, I like the Benchmade Steep. I actually was thinking about buying one. Let's see how much it is right now on base. They only got 5 left. They got $146 if I wanted to buy it on base, tax-free. It's this S30V blade steel. I like the sheath on it. I'm carrying the Blackfoot 2.0 today as we speak, right? The Blackfoot is rocking Magnica. That's why it's significantly more money than the Benchmade Steep. But this was the biggest debate. If I'm going to be cutting the breast off a turkey that I just shot, which knife do I want to use? If I'm going to be cutting the lats off a deer that I just put down, which knife do I want to use? If I'm going to cut the bladder out of a hog I just put down, you don't want to use either one of these because you might cut the goddamn bladder, okay? You don't want to do that. But that was the debate, okay? Now, you know, they've taken it into this world of lawsuits, civil action. They've taken it into the world of politics because Montana Knife Company has hired President Donald Trump's former lawyer, Tim Palatori, to be their lawyer. And I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't know a lot about Tim Palatori. I've seen him on CNN. I've seen him on other stations as well. I follow him on Instagram. This dude seems to be a smart ass lawyer. This dude, I don't listen. I don't know a lot about lawyers. I used to teach lawyers at Texas A&M School of Law. He seems like he was a bright bulb. The full video is here if you want to check it out, man. It's over 2 hours long if you need something to watch. Benchmade, in my opinion, up until this point, they got bodied. Now, things could change. Things could change. I'm not saying it's going to stay the same, but you know, up until this point, they dismissed the case. Now, Montana Knife Company is going after them for Rule 11 sanctions, which they want them to pay their lawyer fees, maybe even pay some more stuff. It's a interesting thing. Benchmade has already been in this world of weird places. 2018, customers' data got hacked from their website. 2019, they had a Chromium spill, which they got fined in 2020, 2021 for. You know, in 2019 they destroyed a bunch of guns using some of their machines for the local police department. They've been in this really weird world of like political and environmental and like snafus. They're very litigious. They've been in lawsuits since the early 2000s versus people like Gerber and Spyderco and Hogue and just different businesses and companies I've never even heard of. You know how many times that Montana Knife Company has been in a lawsuit since 2020, since their inception? One time. One time. So I mean, I it's Montana Knife Company. One of the co-founders, Josh Smith, he's real big into Trump. It makes sense why he hired Tim Palatori is just a smart lawyer, and it doesn't even matter what your political sway is. This case feels icky to me, and I want to know how it ends. I want to know what Benchmade response is to the Rule 11 sanctions, where they're asking them to pay their lawyers' fees. I want to know their response to allegedly telling the employee that they couldn't work for Montana Knife Company for 4 years. I want to know what their response is to that. I'm curious to know all this type of stuff. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about that? Now, I will say this. I have reached out to Tim Palatori, Benchmade, Josh Smith, and Montana Knife Company to bring them onto the podcast. Let's just say things are moving in the background. We'll see who's willing to. I sent them the video. I told them, I don't pull any punches, and we will see who's willing to come on and talk about what happens next. I think it was very, very interesting. Something else that I thought was pretty interesting is Jim Beam. You guys know I'm a bourbon guy, a whiskey guy, a rye guy, and Jim Beam is about to literally unleash the cork on their oldest barrel of bourbon that they have. They are about to unleash the oldest barrel of bourbon that they have. This thing has been aged for close to 20 years. Now, that compares to something similar to like Eagle Rare's 25 by Buffalo Trace. So James Beam Distilling Company, the 2024 release will have a bourbon that's close to 20 years old. And I don't know if they're going to mix it with water. It's going to be cask strength. I don't know what they're going to do with that. Imagine the cask strength on that. It could possibly be like 136 proof, 140 proof. I thought this was interesting. The fact that they are about to make this release, this batch. I don't know if I'm going to get my hands on it. If somebody else gets their hands on it, you feel free to send me, you know what I'm saying? Address is in the description. So that's going to compare to the Eagle Rare 25. Now, according to the label, whiskey clocks at 96 proof and comes in a 750 milliliter bottle. So 96 proof. So they are going to be mixing it with water, I guess, right? Here's the label that they're going to put on it. So they're going to be cutting it down with some water. And Buffalo Trace is known. I love Buffalo Trace's bourbons overall. I don't really like Buffalo Trace too much. I actually prefer Chattanooga whiskey more. They compare a lot. But there are other whiskeys from Buffalo Trace, such as Eagle Rare, Weller's. I like that type of stuff as well. So you got to go to Bardstown to actually get some. Fewer than 500 bottles are going to be available. If you're down, if you're interested in that type of stuff, then this might be something that you might want to check out. For me, I think that it's exciting when people can just hold on to something for that long and just kind of go for it, right? Mix it with water, meaning diluted. Yeah, that's literally what it means. It's just a fancy way to say it, right? But I can appreciate the fact when these companies are able to hold on to that, make these special batches and stuff like that. I appreciate the work that goes into it, having to maintain it, making sure it doesn't get spoiled. It's not introduced to light, stuff like that. You don't have some knucklehead that's running around the warehouse and accidentally popped a cork, okay, or something like that. Some upcoming everyday carry items that I'm a little excited about. We got to talk about the Data Crew Snack Time Sling, guys. The Data Crew Snack Time Sling. The owner of Data Crew, he has taken some considerations that he's gotten from the community. He has made some changes to this. It's still 11 by 16 by 3 inches. It's a 3.25 liter sling. It weighs less than a pound. Actually, that's pretty light. I like that. This is an X-Pack material, 200D nylon for the inner liner. Now they've improved the clip. It has a better clip to it. They have a better cord keep system on it. It has number 5 YKK zippers. It has AquaGuard zippers on this bad boy. Still made in the USA. Still a dope ass box. I will say that every sling that I've ever received, and I've had a lot of slings, when it comes to Nutsack and it's come to Initech from Waterfell, which makes phenomenal slings. This is the best unboxing experience. The best unboxing experience. I mean, look at this thing. It has the specs on the back. They're freaking fantastic logo. And when you get inside this thing, you get introduced to the sling itself. It's in plastic. I took it out so you guys can get ready to see it. But I think that they have made some improvements. Okay, this X-Pack material. Now, I know he had an X-Pack option, but the X-Pack material, you still have this full loop panel on the front. So if you can put your REs or your patches, let somebody know you're allergic to something, let somebody know you have medical supplies in there or whatever. You can use it for fun stuff. You can use it for practical stuff, whatever you might want to use it for, right? And here, you could see the AquaGuard zippers on there, which is going to make it a little bit more waterproof. I think that this is I see the improvements. You still got this rear area. Now, the old one had that hyper orange interior, and that's cool if you like that, right? I kind of like the new muted interior. The rigid part, he kind of took a little bit out of there because the rigid part had me confused. I thought there was an additional pocket back there, but he kind of brought that down a little bit, right? So this is an interesting sling. You still have this fully removable interior. If you want to take this out and then pack this out as you see fit, or not even use this at all. So I'm actually kind of excited about this. The pricing, because of what some of their competitors have been doing, this is a 3.25 liter. This is, in my opinion, I call this a fanny pack because it is a sling, but because of the way it's shaped, the way it sits on its own, this wears really well on the waist. He did improve the locking mechanism on there. This has the same type of lock as like some of the Tom Talk bags that I carry. So that's pretty dope. It has a nicer lock, a nice clasp to it, a satisfying cling to it, like a little magnetic closure and all that good stuff. So I like the fact that they're making these subtle improvements. The pricing on it is still going to bring it in comparison to some of their competitors. It's going to be coming in, I think, about $165. Don't quote me on that. But if you think about their competitors, right? So they're more expensive than the places like Belroy, unless you get one of their luxury slings, Alpaca, stuff like that. But if you look at the materials in regards to like a Tom Talk bag that's made out of X-Pack, if you get that completely customized, that's over $100. So I think that to be USA made by, USA folks and have USA materials and stuff like that, I think that this might be a nice little improvement. And I can appreciate the fact that Data Crew is listening to some of these inputs. That's an upcoming everyday carry item I'm excited about. I say upcoming because I just got it. I'm going to test it out. I'm going to put some thoughts about it. What do you guys think about that? Have you ever checked out the Snack Time Sling? I've done a review on the old one, and I want to see how the improvements are overall. I want to see how these improvements are overall. Now, let's talk about your maintenance for the week. Every week, I like to talk about some must-do maintenance that you need to do. Must-do maintenance of the week. We've talked about checking your smoke detectors, checking the batteries on your power tools, maybe do some spring cleaning in your man caves, and just check different random things out, do some maintenance. This week, I'm focusing on my leather goods. I'm going to be kind of doing a deep dive on my leather, make sure everything is good to go. Now, if you have some leather, this is what brand new leather looks like, right? If you see that watch band, no creases in it, looks fantastic. And it's just a great looking piece of leather. That's how it is when you get it out of factory. That freaking watch is so goddamn sexy. Ugh, oh my God. But that's what you get when you get some brand new leather, okay? And it just looks fantastic. But you need to actually focus on maintaining your leather. And it doesn't matter what the color of the leather is. You need to focus on, because if you don't, it becomes fibrous it can start to decompose, it can crack. So leather needs maintenance, just like wax canvas needs maintenance, all that good stuff. It doesn't matter if it's your leather, if it's your wallet, rather, it doesn't matter if it's your keys. This is a Jibbin key holder. I have to do some maintenance on that. You may have a Orbit key holder. You have to do maintenance on that as well. You know, I've done a lot of work to my different stuff here, such as this is the Esker Parliament wallet, which actually requires me to do more maintenance than I would prefer to do. But so there's different ways that you can do a little bit of treatment for your leather. You can get yourself some baby soap, like literally baby bar soap that you use to wash a small infant. That's very good for cleaning leather. It's not going to damage the leather. If you actually need to recondition or reapply some moisture to your leather, you can use saddle soap, or you can actually use triple filter beeswax. Beeswax and leather go hand in hand. Beeswax and leather go hand in hand. So if you're looking for different leather products, whether you're especially bags, things that get set on the ground, things that if you've ever accidentally introduced leather to water or anything like that, you should definitely try to take a look at doing some maintenance to your leather items this week. I've left some links down below for some different items that you might be interested in, because yeah, I would hate for you to spend all that money on some good leather products and then they begin to just literally crack, decompose, or become overly fibrous. That is your must do maintenance of the week. Guys, that was a super interesting one, a very interesting one. Listen, if this is your first time stopping by, my name is Marine X, and I definitely appreciate you stopping by. Hit the subscribe button, hit that like button as well, man. It is time for me to throw my ass up out of here and go to that upper room, boy. But we will speak